guys, welcome to the channel. I have a really cool test for you today. It's not an inner chiller car. Well, actually, it is an inner chiller car, but it has nothing to do with the inner chiller, except it's going to keep this car consistent. What we're doing today is totally different. We're actually testing a device called Smoothboost. It's almost as cool as it sounds, but it's actually cooler. No inner chiller pun intended. Okay, we're back to answer your questions from the last video that I deemed appropriate enough to put on here, and one of them that was, actually it wasn't inappropriate this time, but we're gonna get to that. So I'm answering questions from the CT-V Blackwing heads cam Magnuson video that ended with the intake sucking shut. The makeshift intake sucking shut. And that's where all this data is coming from. And in this, the first question that I feel like sharing with you is, this is a great build. My wife, Lisa, I don't need to know her name, but like, I thank you for that. She hates YouTube. Well, when I put on your videos, she puts her phone down and watches your content and even asks me questions. Thank you for that. Well, thank you for that. Especially this build. My question is, for the Magnuson 2650, does it still have room for porting? Yes, it does. Kong ports the 2650. Kong Performance ports the 2650. And if you do the build your own on our website, for the Camaro, I think it's just up for the Camaro right now. If you do your build the own, we actually discount it a little bit, as well as have a couple little subsidized parts in there for your Magnuson builds, which is pretty cool. And then lastly, would this platform benefit from a TCM tune? And in your opinion, would the TCM tune benefit the quarter mile? Well, yes, it would, except the one that we're working on is a manual, so the TCM tune is the driver mod. And that's not something that like I can actually tune. But for those of you who are wondering, this transmission is tunable. You'd have to send it out to HP tuners. It probably wouldn't benefit too much in a bolt-on form. It would probably benefit the most when you're getting into camshaft and want the higher shift points. Okay, next question. Were the injectors the new style or what? Well, unfortunately, we forgot to mention this. They were the old style. Here's a good one. Damn, it took me a minute and a few double takes, but that's Max that used to work for Diablo Formula Racing. That is correct. You and a couple other commenters did see that. Max is back. He used to actually work for me too. He was working at DFR, me, then went to California, started his own thing, and is now back in Pennsylvania, and we're actually kicking butt. We got some really cool builds that are coming up on the channel, some fabrication builds that honestly, Max's skill set is just amazing, and really happy to have him back. The Wolfmat asks, would the CT-V factory blower fit on a 19 through 23 Silverado Sierra 6.2 liter, or would it require heads to match to port the blower? Well, there's ways to get it on, but heads are probably the easiest. It would be heads, pulley swaps, like different accessory belt swaps to be able to feed the blower, to be able to spin the blower. So it's a little tougher. Honestly, it's easier if you just buy a Magnuson or a Whipple that goes right on it anyway and start from there. Like, you will spend a lot of money converting it over to really have a blower that doesn't cool very well. Every video, you should have shameless plugs. Remind folks you sell parts. So on that same line of questioning, I'm interested in possibly getting Cook's cat headers. It's spelled Cook's like you're cooking in a kitchen instead of with a K, like thunk. And Cook's cat headers for my Blackwing. I'm looking for a more aggressive sound, but don't want to sacrifice being able to do longer freeway drives. Would I have any issues with drone or volume on the freeway? Well, first, if you're looking at Cook's cat headers for the Blackwing, wait, right here. We got the Cook's cat headers for the Blackwing right there, which is pretty cool. And there's the shameless plug. We sell Cook's, obviously. And would you have drone or volume issues on the freeway? No, those are actually pretty quiet. You do get an increase in volume. No drone, especially when you're using the factory exhaust. It's normally the catback that creates a lot of the drone. So rest assured, when you buy these from me, you should buy them like right now. The The part number is 231F632. That, you know, you'll be fine. Finally, for the crazy comment of the week, it's actually a flattering comment in a way. It says, "This mother effer looks like Matthew Broderick." It's like, thank you so much, because like, I think it was a month and a half ago when I started going to the gym, somebody said, "You on the left looking like Ed from 90 Day Fiancé." So things have really gone up for me, and I appreciate that. So let's get on with the video. Keep the questions coming in. We'll answer them on the next one. So what Smoothboost does is it replaces the factory bypass valve solenoid on your Magnuson or LT4 blower. Basically, it's set up so by pedal position, it can determine how the boost ramps in and even limit the amount of boost that's coming into this thing. This is pretty cool because that means you can have a high boost and low boost and anything in between at the flick of a knob. I wanted to say switch, but it's a knob.
You don't flick a knob, Andrew, you twist it.
I know, twist of a knob! Damn it! Damn it! Okay, so, due to that correction, I retract my statement and it's twist of a knob. So what we're doing with this test today is we're gonna see what kind of range we actually have. This car is a very cool car. This thing has our CSP headers on it, a Magnuson 2650, our heads cam package, and inner chiller with failsafe, with a Rotofab Big Gulp and a Nick Williams 103. I think that covers most of it. Maybe not the catch can. Catch can? Anything else?
It's got a 416 in it.
Oh, it's got a 416 in it. Well, yes, that too. That was obvious, wasn't it? Well, one of the cool things about this is that with the inner chiller, we're going to be able to test this thing properly, stay consistent across the whole thing, as you probably have seen on our other inner chiller video that was 30 minutes long, one shot all the way through. Pretty cool. Well, we're not going to do that this time. What we're going to do this time is we're going to see this range, and of
I was trying to be quiet. Sorry.
Okay, back to me. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna run it at high boost, E85. Well, it's actually like E65 in it right now. And that should put us around like 970 with this thing doing what it does. And then we're gonna drop it down to low boost and in between and see how it performs. I'm kind of excited because this actually gives blower cars, which traditionally do not have the range of like a turbocharger, the actual range of a turbocharger. You can have high boost, low boost, and different boost settings, and that's really, really exciting. Smoothboost can also be controlled by like a Holley system as well, so it can be pretty dynamic.
So from a tuning standpoint, do you need to tune all of those different power levels?
So from a tuning standpoint, yes, you do need to tune all those different power levels, but you can combine that into one tune when you're done. And that's what I'm going to do here. And ideally, that's going to give us the ability to run different boost levels at good power all the way through with a conservative one at the bottom. So let's make some power. All right, now that we've made some really good power from the get-go here, I'm gonna lower this knob all the way down to 0. I mean, it just...
That wide open? It didn't move.
And we'll see what it does. I normally when we would do this with a Pro Charger, because we did some funny stuff with the bypass valves, normally when we would do something like this, it would cut the boost in half. So what I expect to happen is we should go somewhere between like the 15 pounds of boost down to 7-ish, and that probably put us at about 700 or so rear wheel horsepower. So let's see what it does. Okay, so those are a little bit surprising results because Smoothboost did an even better job at lowering the boost than I expected. It actually went from 15-ish pounds of boost that we're running all the way down to 3.5. So I got even lower. That means that the range of this car is about 300 horsepower on E85. That's pretty, or maybe more. Maybe like 360 horsepower on E85. That's honestly pretty nuts. So what should we do now? I know. Let's put it in the middle and see what mid-range boost is going to be like and if the tune all lines up. So that's really, really cool. 850 rear wheel horsepower, basically smack dab in the middle. It's making about 10 pounds of boost peak. So like basically we have control all the way through. You could actually use this by turning the knob to dial it in for around 7 pounds peak, 10 pounds peak, 12 pounds peak, all the way through. And I bet with the Holley, which this does not have a Holley, it does have reflex for port injection, which I forgot to mention earlier, but you could actually control boost with the Holley and set a boost limit and put all this fun stuff in and control it so you could dial in 10 pounds across the board, 7 pounds across the board, like, well, I guess even 3 pounds across the board, like all the way through, which is really, really awesome and really dynamic. I really like this thing. I like this a lot.
I like it a lot.
So I think I'm gonna have to put this on my ZL1. We're gonna do a couple cool things on my ZL1 next, and I am really, really excited about that. So stay tuned. I hope you enjoyed today's informative video on Smoothboost, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Adios.